Today I'm going to discuss thermal stress breakage in glass, window glass particularly, window, curtain, wall, skylight, that type of thing. The thing about glass is, keep in mind, glass is created under very high heat, over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So you would think, yes, glass should be able to handle a lot of, solar gain type heat. But instead, what we found through thermal stress breakage is that where this does not work out so well is where part of the glass is heated and the other part is not. And the most difficult situation for glass is if a part of, like the corner of the glass, like a section that would easily break off, let's say that part is either heated or rapidly cooled in relation to the rest of the glass, and then what you have is a line where the stresses are building up along that line. The reason they're building up is that when glass is heated, it expands a little bit, and when it's cooled, it shrinks a little bit, which is true of other materials also, like metals. They do the same thing, and actually water. Water becomes ice, and it expands during that phase change. Well, in this case, it's not really a phase change, it's just thermal expansion. Let's talk about that corner of the glass. Here I'm drawing it right there. That corner of the glass is getting heated. Let's talk, meaning it's not heat strengthened or tempered. If it's a normal old window glass, and that corner is getting heated 50 degrees Fahrenheit more than the whole rest of the glass, then along that line, there's a shearing that's taking place where this part, the corner, is trying to grow and the rest of it isn't. And so that growing is creating quite a bit of stress along that line. Now, where the break usually happens is at the weakest part of the glass, which is the edge. The edge of the glass is by far always the weakest part, which is why we in the glass industry, when we fabricate the glass, we want it to be nice and clean edges. Sometimes we polish the edges or do other things to actually make the glass stronger and more resistant to fracture. What can we do about thermal stress breakage? One thing is to be very careful and concerned about this possibility of a 50 degree Fahrenheit difference across the same piece of glass. We've seen some very strange situations where, for instance, somebody's cat is sitting in the window and the cat is actually creating a thermal gradient, and the glass will actually break around the cat. It's a weird thing, but it happened. Another one, a bedspread, where the bed is close to the window, ground level window, and there's a nice bright red, which gathers thermal, the thermal part of the spectrum, and that red blanket is right against the glass at a sort of a diagonal space or an irregularly shaped space. And the sun comes along and heats up that part much more than the other part, and boom, the glass goes. So creating these environmental shading situations can obviously be adjusted.